Welcome to Technology with Purpose. In today's video, we're going to understand one of the most common confusions in PLC programming, the difference between TON and TOF timers. You'll learn what they do, how they behave in ladder logic, and when to use each one in your automation projects. Let's get started. Here I am going to use Semantic Manager platform to demonstrate this. Let's first open Semantic Manager and create fresh project. You can use any version of Semantic Manager to try this on your own. Here I am creating new fresh project and select S7300 controller for this project. Also I am going to set CPU setting as is. Now let's select TON timer. On this left-hand side of the window, you can see there is tree of functions and libraries. In this tree you will see timer option. Select S_DT, which is nothing but on delay timer, i.e. TON. Before selecting timer, I am selecting memory bit, say M0.0 before timer, so that timer can be triggered. Now I will select timer.time has 4 parameters. First one is TVI timer value, RI, E reset, BI and BCDI remaining timer value integer and BCD. Now I will set number for this timer, say T1. For setting time of this timer there is specific syntax which is S5T hashtag timer value. For example, if I want timer of 10 seconds, then TV should be S5T hashtag 10S. Let's set the time for this timer. I have set 10 seconds time for this timer. Now I will turn on simulator for simulating this logic. You can see that I have selected M-bit simulation so that I can simulate M0.0 to turn on this timer. Now also take word for monitoring remaining value of this timer. I have selected MW10 here, as BI is MW10. Now let's switch on M0.0. You can see that when M0.0 is on, timer started counting from 100 in MW10. This counting start from 100 and end at 0. This is because time base is 100 milliseconds here. The total time calculation formula is total time in milliseconds equals time base into preset value. In our case, total time equals 1000 into 10 is equal to 10,000 milliseconds, which is equal to 10 seconds. Now you can see that once the counting of BI is over and reached 0, the output of this timer is on. Which means this timer is basically for delaying the result by specific known time. So when you can to turn on something or trigger some action, or want something to happen after specific delay, then this is timer for you. Also, if you want to compare real-time counting of the timer, then using BI it can be done. Let's take one output at the end of this timer and see what happened to that output after the counting is over. Here I am going to take Q0.0 as output. You can see that once the counting is over, Q0.0 is turned on. Which means output is on after 10 seconds from starting the timer by triggering M0.0, which means delay time in turning on the output after input is on. Hence it is called on delay timer. Now let's study off delay timer also. Let's take off delay timer from left tree. Now I'm going to use the same trigger M0.0 to switch on the timer, also use same 10 second as preset value and MW20 as BI. Let's also name this timer as T2. Now I'm going to switch on M0.0 and see what happens. Let's also take MW20 in the simulator window to see what happened to it. You can see that after switching on M0.0 T1 timer already started counting in BI, whereas T2 has not started counting. Let's wait till T1 counting get completed and then see that happens. Now you can see that T1 has completed its counting, and after counting is over, T1 has turned on its output, but T2 has neither started its counting nor turned on its output. Now let's turn off M0.0 and see what happens.
You can see that once M0.0 is off, immediately counting of T2 started. But if you observe that the movement M0.0 was turned on, output of T2 was also on. Which means in off delay timer, once the input is on, at the same time output is also on. Now you can see that after M0.0 is off, T2 started its counting, and after counting is over, T2 is turned off its output as well. So it means TON equals when input is on, counting starts, and after counting over output on, that's the reason it is called as on delay timer. Similarly for TOFF equals when input is on, immediately output turn on, and after input goes low counting starts, and after counting over output goes low. Finally, summary is use on timer when you can't a delay on condition using input trigger, while use off timer when you want to delay output off condition after input is lost. I hope you have understood this now. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, subscribe and comment for more such videos.